you're really questioning that I'm ordering these totally normal reoccurring things that might be just considered consumables and stock orders.
Yeah.
And then they show up and, you know, it looks like it was kicked here from New Jersey. Oh boy, Andy, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I hit record so we could get this. I gotta get this out there.
Yeah.
So this has been the norm forever. Ordering materials locally, ordering them online. We've talked about this so many times, and that's not what we're going to talk about necessarily today. But, it's related. We're not going to talk. Should we order online, Andy? Yes, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry if you're listening this far already.
You should.
I just wanted to kind of air some laundry out here. Let's just put this out there. So, like the big player online, obviously,
right?
Number one in the country. I'm guessing. I'm throwing numbers out there. I have no idea if they're even accurate, but I think I don't have to guess too hard. I'm not going to get a headache thinking about this. Supplyhouse.com is like, you can buy anything you need minus 10-foot pipe and full water heaters and stuff, right? Like, isn't it pretty much anything that can be carried by a UPS driver can be shipped from them?
Or even bigger, I think. I think they'll freight truck stuff, but yeah.
I don't know if I'd be freight trucking anything to Aune Plumbing. I mean, I feel like I order enough stuff from them all the time.
Right.
They make it so easy, right? So you just have the app. You're like, oh, that's right. I got to get that. So you add it to your cart.
Yeah.
And then you get on there on your computer and you're like, oh my God, look at all this stuff on the cart. Well, I must need it.
23 things in my cart.
Yeah. And then you go in and you just landed on there to order like one more thing. You're like, well, I must need those other 23 things. So you order them.
Yeah.
They show up in boxes. I mean, it's like having Amazon for plumbing, which, by the way, speaking of Amazon, you have been known many times to make use of like just a quick shipment, get your hands on it as fast as possible via Amazon for plumbing materials, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's there. I mean, I guess it's the weird part about it, is that there are times when you're looking, when, I don't know, Supply House can't come up, not supplyhouse.com, but my supply houses can't come up with a specific faucet.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you're
Great example.
I mean, I'm going to pay freaking, $48 for, UPS ground for this faucet to show up. And lo and behold, Amazon's got it here and it'll be here on Sunday
for free.
Yeah. And
sort of,
Yeah. Right. And, but, so I'll use it for that aspect. I mean, like we've said so many times in the past, first place I'm going to go is brick and mortar.
Yeah.
If they got it, if it's on the shelf, if it's not a hassle for me to get, it's going to be here in my time frame. Great. If it's not, you know what? I'm not above it.
Okay, so time frame is one thing, obviously. That's like our number one, right? We're obviously conscious of cost.
Sure.
So you're shopping, you're like, oh my God, it seems like a lot. And then you go to your local supplier, and you're like, why is it so much cheaper? No, okay, I guess I'm going to wait a couple days because I'm going to save, 10% on a $1,500 order, and it's just going to come from local instead of online, which might have been faster. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
I could talk in circles around all of that. We don't need to. We've covered it. Everybody's on the same page here.
Yeah.
Unless you're absolutely against ordering online, which I think is honestly, and this is my opinion, I think is silly.
Right.
We got to get our materials where we can get them, and when we can get them, what we're willing to pay for them.
Yep.
Okay. All this comes from. So there's another. You kind of turned me onto it. I knew it existed. I just never really used it, and I've used it to my advantage a few times. There's a competitor.
Yeah.
For a supply house, PEX Universe, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is not a commercial for either one of those companies, by the way.
Right.
Although they're getting some good pub nonetheless. The funny thing about PEX Universe, I get orders from them, and the first time you order from them, it seems a little wonky. Yeah. You're like, why are these people calling me?
Right.
And you answer the phone. And you're like, hello? Yeah? Well, yeah, I ordered something on your website. They're like, yeah, we're just making sure you're not like a robot. Oh, okay. I mean, is that what robots do? Order plumbing supplies on random websites?
Right.
And pay for them, by the way?
Right.
Because I did pay. I just thought it was weird, but you were like, yeah, they do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no big deal. I mean, it was a 1-minute phone call.
Yeah.
And they were just going to double check that I was a real human being and I actually meant to order, I don't know what it was. I think I ordered like 100 pump flanges or something like that, to be honest with you. Like, I could see maybe why they're like, hey, but that's their policy. They start the whole relationship off with, I don't trust you.
Right.
Right? I mean, I'm not wrong if I say it like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I already feel like I'm like not trusted. This stuff shows up. Andy, I am not kidding you. You have to see this in your own shop because it can't just be me.
Right.
This stuff is showing up in these raggedy, rickety boxes with holes in them. It is testing the will, patience, and wherewithal of anything corrugated cardboard and packaging tape.
Right.
I am not sure how they packed all this stuff into these boxes.
Right.
I do know one of the things that made it possible is they used zero packing filler. They just Tetrised everything into these janky boxes or soon to be janky boxes because they just filled them with 400 pounds of brass goods.
Right.
And don't worry, just put another roll of tape on it.
Uh-huh.
So if it sounds like I'm making fun of them, I totally am. But also I'm spending I just got an order yesterday.
Yeah.
Or it's not true. It came days ago. I opened it yesterday.
Right.
And it's fittings. It's black iron fittings and nipples, 1.25 inch, because I got a boiler job coming up that needs it. So a bunch of 1.25 inch copper press fittings, lots.
Yeah.
I posted a little story on that on my Instagram yesterday about how you go from the price point of a 1-inch 90 or fitting press to 1.25 inch, and it's double.
Right.
It's double.
Yeah.
We're talking 25% more size, double the price. Oh my God. Anyway, but all this stuff, I'm looking at it going, oh my God, I could never repackage any of this and put it back on a UPS truck and say you sent me the wrong stuff because it's so jammed in these boxes.
Yeah.
It's so taped. Like the box is so beat up. Like you could roll it across do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's no longer a box.
It's not a box. It's a cube.
It's like this.
It's like a sphere.
It's this cardboard orb of packaging tape and oh my God, I'm dying. So I guess I don't know what my point is. I don't want to sound like I'm only like complaining.
Right.
But we spend I'm not it's not like it was half the cost of Supply House. And I'm like, oh, just put up with the shipping. Maybe I'll have a couple of things that are broken, but sure is cheap. It's not cheap. Yeah. It is cheaper for some things. They certainly don't have the selection. Not even close.
No, it's a different. I use the two primarily. My primary purchase from PEX Universe is Centrotherm and 80 products. So if I'm looking for 80 MC1 or MC3, that's easiest place.
Tell you that.
What's that?
PEX Universe is where you're going for that?
Yep, because Supply House doesn't have it anymore. And
really?
Nope. They dropped that whole 80 line here about 1.5 years ago.
I didn't even know.
And let's see, what else do I get there? I check their flanges and stuff, pump flanges and stuff like that. And sometimes it's like you got to kind of shop it. Sometimes
I put a big order in recently. I got another 30 of them, and they were like $5 a pop cheaper. So I mean, I saved.
Yep.
That's a fair discount.
Yep. I've noticed here recently, and you may have also noticed this recently, especially here in the last say month, that Webstone stuff on Supply House has gone.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Way up. So my local supply chain is now a better buy for me. So I'm ordering that stuff through Keller, and I'm just have to have or Keller or DSG or whoever. I just have to look at it out further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's going to take me a little longer to get.
Well, I think it is worth we're not big on stocking things. There are some things you do have to buy.
Yeah.
For future, so you have it on the shelf.
Right.
But there's no brainers. You know, you're going to use a lot of 3/4 and 1 inch pump flanges.
Yeah.
And a lot of zone valves, right? So like when you buy, you don't buy what you need for the job.
Right.
You got to buy for stock.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can be an item that as soon as there's a price increase, you need to buy, 50 more. That's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the packaging, it took everything. So all my UPS stuff comes into the house garage, which is only, you've been here. It's 100 feet away from my shop.
Yeah.
But I got to move from the house garage to the shop. This last time around was like 4 or 5 boxes.
Yeah.
And every one of them was like, "Oh, don't pick that up. It's a 2-man lift."
72 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's round.
Yes, it is round. Yes, thank you. It's exactly what it is. And it's completely distorted. Right. And I'm thinking, I'm going to open this and all those press fittings are going to be like ovaled. You know what I mean?
You ever done the $1,500 sandbag carry?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Throw it over your shoulder and see if you can, run.
Yeah.
So I'm moving this stuff over here and I'm like, come on. Yeah, there's got to be a better way. And it just kind of dawned on me at the time, like, this company isn't operating even close to the same level. Not even like we have seen change though, like with Supply House, like they have multiple distribution centers all over the country now. They're basically Amazon for plumbing heating.
It's getting there. Yeah. Well, and so I posted that video here, I don't know, it's probably a month ago, where I had like the continuous roll of airbags. and it was like, what the heck? And I don't remember what was in that box. It was something long, right? So they needed a long profile box, and I get it, whatever. And the rest
you pulled out like 50 feet of the
it was across my house at least twice.
Packing pillows, is that what they're called?
Yeah. And it was all one continuous string. That was the best part about it. Anyway, it's funny because I posted that and I intentionally didn't tag Supply House because I was like, hey, you know what? My stuff showed up. It wasn't broke. It didn't cost me anymore. It is what it is. I get it. I thought it was funny. And so I posted the video and somebody tagged, somebody comments and tags Supply House.
And rightly so. They should.
Yeah. And they replied back, hey, we recognize we have a problem. We're working on it. Thanks for your feedback, and I was like, that's freaking cool because so many manufacturers, it's freaking crickets, right? You could go out and I get it. Don't engage on negative publicity.
That's what it is.
I get it.
Yep.
In this particular case, I don't think that it was necessarily negative. It was kind of a funny haha. And I got a message back from them as well on my DM of, hey, thanks for posting that, let us know what we can do to make things better. And I thought, that's whatever. That's fine.
You should reply to him and say, hey, you should listen to this episode of the Make Crazy podcast.
Right.
You're doing pretty well if your boxes show up and they're square.
Rectangular. Right. I have had my fair share of that same kind of thing with a number of variety of manufacturer or sellers.
Yeah.
And Supply House is one of them. I order Caleffi zone valves by the dozen, right?
Yep.
So they seem to come in a box where the bottom layer is zone valves. There's a dozen $150 zone valves or whatever.
Yep.
And then on top of that is some other random things and some packing pillows. Well, that box never shows up with this side up, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the thing has been rolled or whatever, and those are the ones that seem to get hammered the most. And then you get in there and you're like, I gotta reassemble all these boxes of these Caleffi boxes because the adapters are over here, and 3 of them came open, and God, I hope all the pieces are here. And that's the thing that scares me is, I think a lot of the packing tape that you see on that outside of that box comes from the shipper. Right. Like it comes from UPS or FedEx or whoever, because they're like, oh, this one rolled down the conveyor belt for 3.5 hours because Jimmy was asleep at the wheel and didn't recognize that the thing was rolling instead of actually moving down the conveyor belt.
Well, the fact that we're ordering and able to order this stuff and it, adds up to be some weight, right? And and they're not doing anything about, you know, I'm just going to call it like this PEX Universe thing. Their boxes are garbage. Like if you look at it, you hold them up to any, like you think of the cheapest Amazon box you get that might have like a tube of toothpaste in it. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what they're using at PEX Universe to put, $1,500 worth of press fittings in. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, I mean, one of the things I guess I've recognized here lately, we've got a Amazon hub here in Missoula now. There's a great big one in Spokane. There's soon to be another one in Belgrade, so they're really pumping up their distribution huge around the world, around the country.
They're huge.
For sure.
They're huge already here.
And one of the things that I've noticed from them, though, is that I will get boxes that are retaped and repaired and reassembled from FedEx, UPS, right? Or DHL occasionally, not very often.
Through Amazon?
No, just mostly, let's say most of my vendors. I'm curious, how long do you think it's going to be before you get a supply house box that comes shipped by Amazon?
Oh, you mean like they're going to fulfill the order and ship it to us?
Well, not necessarily fulfill the order, but how long do you think that's a market? Do you think Amazon's just going to take the next step and go, well, our distribution's already in place and we can get stuff from, like, what did I order? It was,
I think
last weekend we were looking for something in the house. I don't even remember what it was. It was something minuscule. Yeah. Oh, pink stuff. Our tub of pink stuff cleaning compound was gone. I gave mine to Miles. That's what it was. So earlier in the week, we were doing a job, and I had given him mine because his was gone or didn't have one. And
the sink, you were doing the sink.
Yeah, the sink. That's right.
And we talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah. So Saturday morning at like 7:00, 6:30 or something, Cheryl and I are getting ready to go to the gym, go to boxing, and I'm like, oh, I need to order pink stuff. And so we're sitting there eating breakfast, and and I'm like, order it, and it says, I look at it, and it's like delivered this afternoon today. And I'm like, what the? Nice. Okay, whatever.
Nice.
And we went out and did our thing and came back. And I think it was, I ordered it at before 7 a.m. And it was delivered somewhere between 2 and 6 p.m. that day. And I was like, what the heck? That is insane.
They're not advertising same day delivery in your area, are they?
No, but it's just, I don't know.
If we were like 20 minutes south of, like 15, 20 minutes south of us towards the cities more, we could get same day everything. We can get like 2 hour groceries.
Most of my stuff's 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
But
and it comes in boxes that are fully intact. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Well, this is what I was gonna say is this thing showed up literally in a brown paper bag looking thing. It was an Amazon package.
Yeah.
Like a heavy brown paper bag that was taped over on one side and everything inside was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it was. So I get what you're saying about so Amazon's got the infrastructure. You're saying like they would just then lease out operations to supply house just to get their stuff closer to us.
Well, I'm saying, what is it going to be a point where supply house is just driving a semi truckload of packaged items to an Amazon distribution center and saying, deliver this?
I mean, if it doesn't make it take longer, I could imagine.
Yeah.
I'm all for the efficiency of something like that. Like if it means that less vehicles are on the road, like it's weird to think about this unless you just stop and think like how many vehicles are involved in getting you your crap
right
on a monthly, right? Yeah. So like if I could, so this whole attempt at Amazon saying like you can have your delivery day and like everything can come on this day. I tried that. It doesn't work.
I don't want it.
100% does not. They don't do it.
Right.
They just straight up don't do it, Andy.
Yeah.
Like I said, my delivery day is supposed to be Friday.
Right.
So I told the whole family, I'm like, hey, look, humor me out. Humor your freaking tree hugging dad here.
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody's just going to get their stuff on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, just get over it. You don't need it that badly. We tried. Yeah. We straight up tried for like 6 months. We're like, everything comes every day. It just doesn't matter. And my whole intent on this was we don't need a FedEx and UPS and everything driving down our driveway every single day.
Yeah.
We don't need it. It's just,
but they do.
If all of us could cut down a little bit on it, we would be so much better off.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yep.
People would get the stuff when they needed it instead of being backlogged because of, it didn't get delivered yesterday. It's got to get delivered today. All this stuff adds up and matters. And believe it or not, you just don't realize it's affecting you until you didn't get your thing or whatever. I'm saying, hey, let's cut down on the fuel usage a little bit here because we're just consumers just gouging out crap off the internet for no good reason. And if we just had it all on that Amazon day, but they don't do it. They don't do it. It's so annoying.
I've always looked at it like, nah, I'm paying for my Prime. I want to get my stuff here as fast as you could possibly get it here.
If you think about it, Andy, this is how I arrived at it. It's not so much like that was my motivation.
Right.
Like, oh, look, we could save energy. Just like, look, you don't have to agree with me on it.
Right.
But you can acknowledge, like, if it did work,
if you could do it more efficiently, that would be better.
That would be the benefit. And it would everybody would say that that's better.
Everybody would, yeah.
Okay. But they don't do it. It's so annoying. So here we got PEX Universe texting me like, hey, did you really mean to order this? Yes, because and you know why you should know I meant to order PEX Universe? Because it's the same thing I ordered last time.
Right.
It's literally the same. Like I added one thing. So like you're really questioning that I'm ordering these totally normal reoccurring things that might be just considered consumables and stock orders.
Yeah.
And then they show up and, it looks like it was kicked here from New Jersey from a guy with one hell of a freaking penalty shot leg.
Right.
And then you got Amazon. You could drop the stuff off in 2 hours and it's like
pristine.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look at this. This is brand new. It's just made it an hour ago. That's the other thing too. The PEX Universe thing. It's a solid week. It's a solid week before you get it.
Yeah. They're
5 days.
I think you're right on the side, size of the company. They're not as big as, clearly not Amazon. And I don't think that they're as big as Supply House.
Supply House seems like they're so good at making it look like they're as big as Amazon. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're doing pretty well.
Good job there.
They're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And again, I love my local, like, if anybody's listening in my local network here, Good & Company, Johnstone, Heartland Group, like, Roberts Hamilton, like you guys, if you're local and you listen to, like, I love these guys. I buy a lot of stuff from the locals too, but it's just easier to talk about this and complain about this online order, which I'll be honest with you. I am at the point now, it may not seem obvious. I'm at the point now where I'm contemplating whether I order from that company again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get a bag of 1 1/4 90s, pressed 90s that are like all ovaled or something. Yeah. And I can't, that's a lot of money.
Right.
At, $15 a pop or whatever they are.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. And I guess a lot of it is what are you willing to give up to get it the other way? And that's the magic question.
Yeah.
Right. What makes it worthwhile?
I think so too. Well, we're going to do some cleanup here with some housekeeping. Cleanup with housekeeping. Everybody, make sure you send us a message over on Instagram. You can use the link in your podcast app. You might be listening audio version of us. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also send us messages and you can leave comments, and we'd love to hear from you. Lots of good comments coming on those videos on YouTube. I appreciate it. We need to do a comment episode. We need to do another listener write-in episode. So we need to hear from you. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
That's right.
This is your chance. Andy, you want to add anything to that, buddy?
No. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just send us something, I guess.
We're desperate for we need your love. We're desperate for your approval.
That's right.
All right, dude. Have a good one.
Later.